Hey Hotties, how you healing? How you feeling? I'm Zenzi, and this is Hotties Heal. Today we're going to get into labels and why I think that it's important to just let go of the labels that you have assigned to yourself or have been assigned to you by society. Why, may you ask, do I have this opinion? Well, I'm going to tell ya. I personally consider labels to be limiting beliefs that ultimately only put you in a box and create more barriers for you in life. Let me elaborate on this statement. Humans are unique in the fact that we are supposed to be free-flowing and versatile. When we put ourselves in boxes and we add these labels, we are limiting our ability to do that. We are supposed to flow with life, and obviously a lot of circumstances create barriers for us, but labels are something that we control whether or not limit us. And I don't want anyone to be confused with this idea that I'm saying don't have morals and values, because obviously I'm sure we all know the statement, stand for nothing, fall for anything. But morals and values are not to be confused with labels. The idea I'm trying to create here is to separate yourself from your thoughts and your feelings, because you are not those things. And I think oftentimes we do take on our thoughts and feelings as a part of our identity when that is not the case. You are you, I am me, and we are not the things that we think and feel. Though we live our lives constantly in our thoughts and our feelings, so it's sometimes hard to separate those things, which is why I think labels have been created, also as a source of trying to create individuality by trying to associate ourselves with things and trying to understand who we are. But when you assign a label, you are actually limiting yourself and your ability to grow and expand beyond what you know. The reason labels can be so harmful for society's development, in my humble opinion, is because they often perpetuate stereotypes, create division and discrimination while simultaneously limiting individual potential. What do I mean by that? There's a few examples. A prime one that's more of a choice is political parties. Like, the fact that the Democrats and the Republicans can literally not agree on anything and they're like feuding is just a prime example. Like, how about we're all just humanitarians and we care about the basic human rights of people and stop trying to be like, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I have the right to dictate the autonomy of women's bodies and decide whether or not gay people should be able to live their normal human lives. Like, who cares? And I don't mean who cares, like, about those things. Obviously, I care about those things, but why are, like, we assigning ourselves to one side or another and then, like, feuding over it when we should just all agree that every human has the right to live their lives in a way that makes them feel happy as long as it's not harmful. Some other factors that people can be labeled as that aren't necessarily choices are through race, sexual orientation, gender, and other human characteristics, which ultimately usually only lead to discrimination and prejudice, which can create this us versus them mentality, which is a snowball effect leading to more conflict and social tension. And the reality of an us versus them mentality is that it's really no us versus them. Like, we're all humans and we all come from one place. Where that place is not up for debate. In my opinion, it's an individual thought process that I will not attempt to determine for anybody but myself. But it's known to be true whether you are from a scientific or religious standpoint that we all were originated from one place. Where? Up to you to decide. Labels are such a slippery slope in my opinion, because obviously I understand people's want and need to be understood and validated in their identity, but the truth of the matter is not everyone's going to agree or care. And you're giving people too much power by trying to force them to understand your perspective, when in reality, I think the only thing that we can do is respect the differences and opinions of others. Like, you and I might not agree on what we're saying, but we can respect that we won't agree and move on. We don't have to associate with each other. Like, this idea that we have to force people to get it is where the problem lies. No one has to understand. As long as they're being respectful and they're minding their own business, I'm gonna mind mine. And it's really not up to me to change someone's mind. And I think that more people should have this approach to things, like allow people to experience life the way that they want to experience it. And if they can't understand you, then that's their problem. It's not up to you to force people to understand you. And obviously sometimes there's a lack of respect there, but choose your battles, you know what I mean? And I would like to preface by saying I don't give a flying flock who you are, what you do, who you love, how you express yourself. It really doesn't affect me. And as long as you're not being a crap person, I could truly care less. I live your life, babe, and I'm gonna live mine. Like, I do not discriminate. I love all people as long as they're being kind and good. If not, I'm just gonna stay over here and you could be over there. Like, but I just think labels can be so harmful no matter what you're identifying as. How about we separate the fact that you can like this but also like that? That is polarity. That's life. Both things can be true and exist, and it's just really harmful to say, I'm this and so that, and it has to be this and that. I don't want to get too specific because, like I said, it's a slippery slope, and I don't need to speak on things that I don't know, but I do know that labels can be very destructive for society. Additionally, labels can limit people's opportunities and self-expression. Due to pressure to conform to societal expectations associated with their specific labels, which basically just forces people to pick sides, which if you're picking a side, you're just creating more division. And the goal here as a human race is to be one with each other and just love each other and have a utopia. Goodbye. But all jokes aside, picking sides is just creating a more narrow-minded and judgmental structure of society, where people are not seen individually but more as members of groups and subcultures and socioeconomic status and etc., blah blah blah, squawk squawk squawk. Basically, all I'm saying is, before you yourself try to put labels on things, maybe just decide to be fluid and free-flowing. And I'm not speaking specifically about anything in particular, because I know the word fluid is often associated with gender, and I'm not speaking that way. I personally don't consider myself to be a gender fluid person. I acknowledge that I was born in a woman's body, and I personally resonate with my form currently, but I respect if other people don't feel that way. And just because I don't feel that way doesn't mean that I really care if another person does or doesn't. Ultimately, when people look at me, I'm sure they see a gorgeous black woman, but I'm so much more than that. And I'll continue to grow beyond the labels that I put on myself and society puts on me, because I'm a walking paradox, as as Tyler the Creator says. And yeah, you know, I'm not going to put myself in a box. I'm going to continue to grow and evolve and do what I want to do. And I suggest that everyone else do the same. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you made it to the end and you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're not new and you're returning, thank you for being here. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.